Hello and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Forever Sport. And Jacques Nyaba has just announced his team to take on New Zealand this weekend. A bunch of players returning to the fold, but also interesting to see a couple of players who went over there early, not actually involved in the 23. It's a very strong 23. In fact, probably close to one of the strongest 23 we can probably currently put out. And a couple of very interesting decisions. Before we look at the team itself, sort of go through and exactly what sort of we can expect, please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so let's have a look at this. Is the team that will take on New Zealand this weekend. First things first, big news is that ETZEBETH is fit and will start and captain this side over in Auckland this weekend. Initially we weren't quite sure whether he was going to be ready for the Rugby Championship. They did confirm that he was going to be ready, and it looks like he is back. He's fully fit, and he is set to start against the All Blacks this weekend. If we look at the front row, it's the exact same front row as last weekend. So Stephen Kitshoff, Bongi Manambi, and Francois Herbert having to double up from last weekend, and we'll start again once again. But it's a new lock combination in ETZEBETH and Lood Diaga, and a brand new loose trio in Kwagga Smith, Franco Moster, and Jasper Wiese. We kind of expected that loose trio, didn't we? Then the halfback pairing, Faf de Klerk versus and Damien Willemse. Damien Willemse in at 10, like he was at the end of last year. Malibok not starting, but is on the bench, which in itself is quite interesting. Marcus Pimpy, Cheslin Colby are the two wings, which was also kind of sort of expected. However, lots of speculation that Jesse Creel will be starting outside centre. That is not the case. Damien Delendi is once again joined by Kanya, as is the norm. So they will reignite their centre partnership this weekend. Billy Leroux, after a brilliant performance last weekend, does start at full back. Then off the bench, Malcolm Marx, Thomas Toy, Vincent Koch. Vincent Koch getting another opportunity of last week. Malcolm Marx obviously coming into the top side, and we know how useful he's been off the bench. Expect to probably see him about the 39th minute. And then, Pierce Step the Toy, Dwayne Vermeulen. I mean, it's a pretty formidable six to have coming off the bench in terms of adding that impact later in the game. Grant Williams gets an opportunity, which is quite an interesting decision. And then Malibok getting back on the back of last weekend. So, overall, I think there are certain players who are being rewarded from last weekend's form. I think Grant Williams, for example, I think that for me is quite a surprising inclusion. Some people are talking about Herschel Yankees getting an opportunity. I would have been surprised, but Kubas Ranoff, for example, has always sort of seemed to be the next choice scrum half. So very interesting that Grant Williams and Moy Liebach, who are players who are quite sort of X-factorish and quite edgy, for example, are being trusted to come on later in the game and sort of manage the game. So it's very, very interesting. And yeah, again, as I sort of mentioned, a couple of players who went over in the likes of no JC Creel, no Jean-Luc Dupria. We didn't expect to see Gerard Steenekamp, but no Trevor Nyakane, for example, also somebody we haven't seen in the first two games. We kind of expect to see some of those players involved in this weekend. But to be honest, I think we've got as full strength as we can. I don't think we've got a stronger 23 really. Maybe you might argue that Kubas Ranoff could come into the mix, but I think that's Oxen Chair, when he's in fit, I think comes in there. Steve Kitshoff will drop down to the bench, and then maybe and obviously Akilisi comes in, and Kwagga Smith maybe drops down to the bench, and Pierce Step the Toy potentially might start in front of Franco Mostert. It'll be interesting to see what our strongest 23 would actually be. But I think in terms of players available right now, I don't think it gets much stronger than that. In terms of experience, and a couple of milestones, ETZEBETH will cap the Springboks for the 30th time on Saturday. His last test was on the 20th of July 2019, back down in South Africa. It is the 28th time that David Delendi and Kanya will link up in the midfield. And the last time the Springboks suffered a defeat in New Zealand was in 2017. They beat the All Blacks 36-34 in 2018. And the sides last played in New Zealand in 2019, which was a 16-16 draw. In terms of the experience, lots of experience. The total amount of caps in the starting lineup is 797. There are 320 in the back line, 477 in the forwards, and a further 280 on the bench. The average caps per player in the back line is 45, and the forwards 59, while the players on the bench average 35. It's an incredibly experienced side. And when you think that, for example, if you look at that forward pack, Stephen Kitshoff, Bongi Manambi, Francois Herbert, ETZEBETH is the Centurion, but that front row, all 50-plus caps. Lood Diaga, 50-plus caps. Franco Moster, 50-plus caps. So you have Kwagga Smith and Jasper Wiese who don't have 50-plus caps, and yet Kwagga Smith has very quietly racked up 31 caps, whilst Jasper Wiese has racked up 20 caps. So yeah, you can't ask for much more experience than what we're looking at in that pack and in the back line as well. So, yeah, let me know what you think of the team down in the comments below. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.